So I am coming to the next paragraph. The dull brown shades and the dull grey shades of color which you find in the dens of the uninhabited jungles and in the banks of lonely rivers and springs, those are the colors that cause destruction of vital force in you. He is telling about the two colors. One color is dull brown shade. You know the brown color, huh?
What is dull? Dull
brown.
But dull, what means dull?
Dull means fading color. Dull means not so bright. Dull means not so bright. Okay. He said about dull brown shades and dull grey shades. These two colors are not the colors. Those are the colors that cause destruction of vital force in you. Destruction of vital force in you. That's not exactly brown, but in general, we won't use those colors. In general, we won't use those colors. Anytime in the spiritual practices, anytime, any shade of brown is not good. Except only one brown color. Except there is only one brown shade that is very, very spiritual. You know what is that color? Can you imagine? Only one shade of brown that is highly spiritual. Can you imagine? Can you give me the example?
What the monks were wearing, maybe?
Huh?
In Switzerland, there were monks.
No. So, forget about the monks and others. I'm asking about the color. Brown color thing that is very auspicious.
Chocolate.
Yeah. Okay. 1 minute. No. See, you are. Wait.
Chocolate brown.
No, you are near to it. Not chocolate brown. It is the eatable thing. Now you are near to it. That's the most worst color, chocolate brown. Forget about it. But you are nearing to it. Coconut, no. Coconut is white. Coconut water is very white.
Outside, no.
No, it is a very, very good thing to eat. It is very hygienic, very highly spiritual food.
Meat.
Dominic, I stopped the class. Be very hygienic, very good. All the spiritual masters, all the doctors and everybody, they recommend this to eat every day.
Nuts.
I will give the clue. It is a liquid.
Coca-Cola.
Honey.
Coffee.
Yeah.
Honey.
I have given so many clues. Honey color brown. Honey, exactly. Honey color brown is the only color, only shade of the brown we can use. But remember, always don't try to use any brown colors. There is not for any spiritual, it is not useful for any spiritual practices. And dull grey color also. This is not these two colors, not recommended by any masters of science of colors. Only exception is the honey brown color. It is very rare to get the honey brown color, you cannot get it. If it is very rare, it is very common in Europe. In Europe, you have a lot of colors in your eyes. Indian art. In Europe, you find a lot of eyeball with some eyeballs are green, some are blue, some are what is that? Honey color. Like that, so many color shades will be there. In India, it is not possible. In India, if you look at any girl or any man or woman, whatever it may be, in India, if you find any shade of honey color in their eyes, in India, I am not speaking about Europe, you are having all these colors. So nothing particular about that color in Europe. In India, like countries, there all the time you have only black eyeballs, that's all. Very few people, not even 0.5 or 1% people, they will have the eyeballs with honey color. And if we see in any spiritual person with honey color eyeballs, means they are highly spiritual. I am not speaking about Europe, I am repeating again. I am repeating because that is your natural color, so you get blue color or something like that. And if you see in India, in some people who are doing the meditation, we can understand by looking into their eyes whether they are doing the real meditation or not. If somebody is doing the meditation very regularly, then their eyes are different. They look very different. We can easily recognize them whether doing the meditation in a real way or not. It is very easy. So, if I get about that, the dull brown and shades and dull grey shades. Tibetan master Jalkul in his letters on occult meditation, that these brown and these greys of color, they do not belong to the present round of creation. He went to the next level of understanding. I am not going to that part. What Jalkul said, in every creation, that is we are in the 21st century, for example, or we are in the fifth root race. Fifth root race, the coming root race. It is a different science. Whoever born in some root race, they will have a separate qualities.
Separate what?
Qualities. As a total, not individual, I am asking, not individual. Fifth root race people, they are very much intellectual. Before to us, Atlantean root race is there. Their behavior and their attitude is different from our people. Next root race people will come. It is called the sixth root race. The most advanced root race, what the masters, according to the masters, the next root race, who will born in the next root race? Who will born in the next root race? Who will born? We. That's again, we will born in the next root race. That's it. So we in the evolution we go there. Here I will explain to you a very interesting and important thing. If you are in a teaching line, for example, if you are working in a school, if you are a real teacher, not working for money, of course you will get the money, but teaching is a different art. Even though they get the money from the school or from the university or from the college, it is just for livelihood. But teaching thing itself is different because the teacher can train the children like anything. The teacher has to look into their future. And then if the teacher can look into the children and look into their future, the teaching style will be changed. If they are the real teachers. Even when they look at a girl or a boy at the age of 5 or 6 years, they can look in those children the future scientists and future masters, future scholars like that. They can find in the small children also if they are the real teachers. I am using the word real. You take that. So, if it is the case with the ordinary teacher in a school, then what about the masters? They look thousands of years after. They look into the coming thousands of years of future. Then, even though they are living in the 20th century, they look at the coming century or coming root race, and they start giving the teaching from now on. If they teach 1,000 people, only 10 people can understand that. Even other 990 students or people, they remain as an information in their minds. They won't go out. They register in their minds as an information. That's all. They cannot work with it. if they get 10% of result out of 1,000, not 100, they get 10 people out of 1,000, they feel they are very lucky. Not we. The masters feel they are very lucky. At least we got 10 people. So they think about the coming 1,000 years and they start trying the teachers from now on. People from now on. Second step, they will try to train the teachers who can teach again. That's how the kingdom of the masters goes. So we are in the 5th root race. When we come to the 6th root race, you know what happens? We know when we are going to die. We know when we are going to born. We know before we leave this body where we are to go, where we are going to born, who is the mother and who is the father. First he select a boy and a girl. Then he leave his body and he will born again in that particular family. And from the childhood onwards, he continues the previous birth training. He died with some background. When he born again, he continues from there. Again, A for apple, B for boy. It is not like that. They continue with the previous incarnation's memory, and then he will, when he come to certain age, then he start from there. This is what we call the sixth root race people. Before they die, you know what they will do? They will give some ring or some watch or something else to the next people, and they ask them to keep that ring with them or something with them, and when they born again they will ask for that. This is what happens in the Rinpoches in Buddhism. Rinpoches, they believe in Buddhism. They remember about their previous births. And I don't know whether it's manipulation or not, but we believe that Rinpoches, they have to, if somebody, they have to remember their previous birth. I know so many people, not Rinpoches. In Rinpoche means they tell, this is a technical word in Buddhism, and I know, I have many of my friends who remembers their previous births and who are continuing with the same work. And there are some qualities will be there. With that we can recognize as he is true and she is true. It is a common syllabus in the 6th root race. When we born again in the 6th root race, we remember everything about our previous thing. But it is not possible now. It is not at all possible. Because if you remember your previous birth, then you will become mad. Within a second you will become mad. Because your girlfriend in your previous birth going with some other boy in the car and driving on the lake, then what is your position then? A lot of things will be like that. So it is not possible, it is not good for us. So when a master is teaching something, don't think it is a teaching for now itself. It is from the coming, it is the teaching to the next generation also, not next root race also. So Master Jwalkul here used one word. You see what is the word? Tibetan Master Jwalkul in his letters on occult meditation, that these browns and these greys of color, they do not belong to the present round of creation. So maybe in our previous root race, they might have used the brown color and the grey color, but they are not useful now. That's why I explained to you. So when you are thinking about something, we should not develop any fancy about it. We should not develop any fancy, any liking about it, whether it is useful or not. It should be useful for now. It should be useful for the future also. Because again we have to born again. This is not our last birth. There are so many births are there. You understand? So you have to carry this to the next birth. I will explain to you in the lecture Light Upon Death. That's the most wonderful, beautiful lecture. The most interesting lecture and advanced lecture given by the master. The continuation of this sound and color. Tomorrow I will explain about the light upon death. How to prepare ourselves for the death. How to prepare ourselves for the real death. What is the real death and what is the real birth. How to prepare from now on to a real death. Any day, ordinary death, it will come out whether we want it or not. It comes. We don't bother about it. If you want a real death, then you have to try for it. It will not come automatic. You understand? We don't want any death because death it comes automatic. Whether you like it or not. Real death never comes. Never comes. If somebody wanted a real death, means it is the highest spiritual side of practice. Unless somebody is highly spiritual in his attitude, he cannot go into the real death. Real death is like going into moksha. The final real death is like attainment. Somebody wanted a real death means they have to practice like anything. They have to change so many things. When once you understand the subject, you don't care for any other thing in the life except that. If you understand what is the death, what is the purpose of the death, what is the science of a real death, if you understand that, you just forget about all the other stuff. You don't care for any petty things. Whatever things you feel like very important in your life, you just don't care for that. Tomorrow you will understand. Okay? So, they have a sickening effect upon biological kingdom, and also he says that these colors are used by the members of the Black Brotherhood to produce destruction upon a group of humanity. The brown color and the shade of brown colors and shade of grey colors, in general the people of the black magic, they use it for the destruction of the humanity. That's why it is not advisable to any spiritual person to use the brown color or the dark grey colors. So many people they like the brown color. So many people they like it. But we cannot find fault with them. But when you are practicing the meditation, when you wanted our vital force to be so healthy, when we wanted to be mind is so peaceful and calm, it is better to avoid the brown color shades and the grey color shades. Right? Next. At the same time, when you look at the sky in time of sunrise or sunset, or the night or the evening, any time during the day or night, if you try to look at the sky, the color effect produces upon is always encouraging, and it is creative in its nature. And whenever you look at the sky, you will find the color combinations encouraging. So whenever you look at the sky, it is looking so beautiful. So beautiful. And in the lecture once Master says, some group of saints or the spiritual persons in India, they go to the forest, deep forest, they live there, their only practice is looking at the sky. That's all. Morning, afternoon and evening and the night and the skies and the stars and the blue sky, their only practice is looking at the sky and meditate, looking at the sky and meditate, looking at the sky, enjoying the sky, blue color. That's it, no other practice. That's how they used to spend their entire life looking at the sky, because it is so vast, there is no end to it. So what you will tell about the God, how you will explain to him? In Indian scriptures explain about the God, he has no beginning, he has no ending. He has no birth, he has no death. But the Indian scripture says God, the definition of God is he is the ending and he is the beginning, but he has no end and no beginning. Understand? And Bhagavad Gita says he cannot be distracted. Or the definition of the God, he cannot be distracted. He cannot become wet by the rain. Right? He cannot be burned with the fire. We cannot cut him with any weapons. With water it cannot be wet. With the fire you cannot burn it. You cannot cut with many weapons. That is how I explain about the God. Then the master says, now meditate. How you will meditate? If you want to meditate, you should have a flame, you should have a color, you should have a lotus or something to meditate. So you are meditating absolute without any tool in the hand. How you will meditate? He said that is the form of the God, meditate. And then one master came to my house in my school, said, sir, I will show you the God if you send your students to my meditation class, I will show them the God. I said, I am not interested. Simply I said, I am not interested. Why? That's all, I am not interested to see the God. What I will do with that? I know I can't do anything with that. Then that man was shocked. The man was shocked. And all my students are looking at me that if they are interested, you please take them. I have no objection. It happened. Then all my students, they asked me, elder students means like your age, they are elders. And then they asked me, when you are not interested, why should we be interested? I said, that is not my problem. If you are interested, you please go. He is telling you that he will show you the God. Try to see him, but he is telling very frankly. If you like, please go. I know they are interested. And then night he conducted a class. It is a free class, no money. And conducted the course and said, after coming from the class, they said, asked, did you see the God? Sir, we explained that in the Bhagavad Gita class, sir. He said the same thing and put a name, this is God. He explained the same thing and finally he put a name, whatever you learned now, this is God. And I laughed and said, you fool, is it possible to see the God? Because what the scripture says, he has no taste, he has no color, he has no form, there is no beginning, there is no end, there is no birth, there is no death, you cannot cut it, fire cannot burn, water cannot make it wet, then how you will see then? It is so foolish. I know he will explain something and label it. That's what I explained now. What I explained? This is a space. Can you cut the space? No. Can you burn the space? No. From where all the planets are coming into existence? Where? From this space. From all the planets and the solar system, then the sun and earth, all of them, they again go back. Can you see them when they go back? Where they are. Even now here, maybe there are a lot of solar systems are here. Active born. Can you see them? No. Can you burn the space? No. Space will become wet with the rain? No. That's what Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna explained in Bhagavad Gita about this space. That is the meditation point. That is the meditation point. What is the meditation before this hall is constructed? What is there here? Vacant space. Isn't it? Before this hall is constructed, the building is constructed here. What was there before? A vacant space. After that they built this 4 walls, something like that. Then what is here inside? Space. What is there outside? Space. In between you build the 4 walls. And you are claiming that it is your own. that is the beauty of it. That is where the problem started. That is the origin of the evil. That is the origin of, whose space is this? Freely available. Then you put the 4 walls and you write it in your name in the document, and this is my property. Can you write this document here? You can write about the walls. Can you write about this space? Anywhere in the document, the space also belongs to me. So the 4 walls are nothing but your physical body. These 4 walls, the buildings, all the wires are your nervous system. All the electrical wires and everything, and telephone wires, all the wiring in the building is nothing but your nervous system. All the walls are nothing but your physical body. The problem is you are believing yourself as a physical body. That's the problem here. Outside there is a space. Inside there is a space. Between the 2 spaces, like the building, you are there as if you believe that you are the physical body. You are trying to do everything to this physical body, all the perfumes, all the beautiful colors, right? All the costly clothes, all the makeup thing, everything we are doing not to this permanent one, we are doing the temporary one. It is a rented house, not the own house. If you are living in a rented house, your duty is to hand over the rented house intact to the owner. Otherwise, he will give you the fine. You spoiled this, and you have to pay for it. That is what we call the karma. And the body is given to you by the nature. When the 5 elements are given to you by the nature, again when we die, all the 5 elements go back into the 5 elements. If you burn the body, they go immediately. And if you put the body in the earth, it will take a long time again to go back into the 5 elements. That's why in India, 90% we burn the body immediately. Again the 5 elements, from the body 5 elements again, immediately they will be distributed again back, and they will be useful to some other soul again to come into the earth. So Bhagavad Gita says, don't think that you are the body. Don't think that you are the 5 senses. Don't think that you are your mind. Don't think that you are that is you are the idea. You are your ideas. Don't think that you are your plans. Don't think that you are your ambitions. You are something else. You are yourself. You are not the mind. You are not your body. You are not the 5 senses. You are not your buddhi. You are not your thought. I am that. I am. What else? What is the better meditation than this? This is the highest meditation. Why do you care for all the petty things? I could see the white light. So what? If you put the switch there, you can put a beautiful light here. For that you need not close your eyes to see the light. You can put 4 or 5 bulbs here. Or if you see at the sunlight, free sunlight is there, lot of light is there. Why should you worry about this? Looking at the white light so beautifully for that? No? Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was one master, great master was there in India. He was a very, very great master. And one yogi came. He came to the Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. I can walk on the water from this side to that side. I can walk on the water, he said. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said, how many years you practiced to get that miracle? I have practiced 25 years like anything. My master is so great. He told me the technique how to walk on the waters. How much time it took? So great. He says, 25 years of it. 25 years. You took the time to walk on the water. So great. Then you know what did you know what happened? Ramakrishna Paramahamsa asked a man, I have to cross this river, you please bring the boat. And then one person brought the boat, and he also asked that man, you can come on, sit, I am going there, you please come and sit in the boat, I will drop you there. No, master, I can walk on the water. So you can walk on the return. You both are going, you please give me you are such a great yogi, I am so happy to be in your presence, and please come with in my boat. That man was so egoistic. Oh, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, people think about him, he's such a great master, but he is requesting me to give my presence to him. And he went into the boat, and within 10 minutes they were on the other side. And then Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said, it takes 10 minutes to cross the river, but for you it took 25 years. And Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said, by paying 1 rupee or 2 rupees, within 10 minutes we could cross the river, but you wasted your 25 years of your life. You are stupid and get lost. He did not use the words, but I used those words. He is such a great person. So, wasting your life for looking at the colors, wasting the time for hours together and years together and months together. Oh, I have seen the color. So what? You are like that only. No change in your attitude so far. You are not so happy in your life any time. You are not free from the jealousies. You are not free from the ego. You are not free from any comparisons with other people. You are not happy at all the time, running and running and running and running and running and running, reading and reading and reading and reading, meditating and meditating and meditating. What for? When there is no inner peace here, when there is no harmony here, all the times only complaints. Is it that life? How many years you want to live with the complaints? To live with the comparisons? To live with the competitions? To live with the ego problems? Is it the meaning of a spiritual life? Absolutely no. Absolutely no. That is not the will of the God. That is not the will of the Master. You be happy not by enjoying, not by working with the pleasures, not enjoying with the senses. That is not a real happiness. If there is itching here, I will scratch like this. I feel so happy when I am scratching like this. But at the end, what happens? If there is itching here, I scratch like this and like this. But what is the end? Skin will be gone. That is the after effect. You will get the burning here. In the beginning it is good. At the end, lot of pain and lot of burning here. This is what we call enjoying the senses. Don't eat so much of food. Don't drink lot of things. Don't go any places wherever you like. There should be some meaning in it. There should be some science in it. There should be some purpose in it. This life is given by the God, by the nature. We have to use it in a purposeful way, in a meaningful way. This is the real purpose of the spiritual life. You understand? That's why at the same time when you look at the sky in time of sunrise or sunset or the night or the evening, any time during the day or night, if you try to look at the sky, the color effect produced upon is always encouraging, and it is creative in its nature. You remember one thing, it is creative. The word creative is so important in the life. Suppose this mobile is the Apple mobile, so expense for example. If I put it in the earth, can it produce another Apple mobile? Suppose gold is very precious. All the I don't know about your Switzerland, but all Indian women, they like gold very much, better than their husbands. All the Indian women, they like gold very much. So if you put the gold in the earth, can you get much more gold? It is not creative. If you put 1,000 francs, can you get even 1 franc? If you put it in the earth, it is not creative. So whatever you wanted to do, you should be creative, not imitative. No comparisons here. It should be a creative thought. It should be creative idea. So nature is always creative. Because if you put a seed up from the plant, it gives birth to millions of trees. That is creative. God has created a man and woman. What for? To create the next species. To create the next children. Again they create the next children. Like this the creation goes. The birds, the animals, the trees, the humans, whatever it may be, they are all creative because they create some other species. The seeds in a fruit, 100 seeds in a fruit give birth to 100 plants. Like that it grows. This is what we call creative. If at all, if you wanted to do something, it should be creative. It should create something else. That's why we learn in the spirituality. Don't try to be like this. Don't try to hold like this. It is what we call the possessiveness. Hand should be like this. When you close your eyes like this, here it is closed. Yes. If you open like this, it opens like this. Right? Don't to be tight-fisted. It is useful for the exercise, not for this. It is useful to the exercise like this. All these mudras, all these things. They are good for the exercises. If you do like this, even mudra for example, it is good for as a mudra, not good for this. For this, right? That's why if you see the Indian the angels photographs, the right hand, the left hand will be like this and right hand will be like this. If you see any of the Indian idols photographs, Lakshmi or Ganapati, whatever it may be, left hand is like this and right hand is like this. This is the receiving hand, this is the transmitting hand. This is the receiving, left is the receiving side in our body, right is the transmitting this thing. That's why when you wanted to touch any person, suppose, in general we will not, unless they are the left-handers, generally we touch with the, say, don't worry, be calm. Then it will become a healing hand, whether you know the healing or not. Somebody is in trouble, hey, come on, don't weep. They will be so happy because this is the healing side. Understand? You remember the word creative. And they said they have a healing effect, a rectifying effect upon the mind, and a purifying effect. What is that? At the same time, when you look at the sky in time of sunrise or sunset or night or the evening, any time during the day or night, if you try to look at the sky, the color effect produced upon is always encouraging, and it is creative in its nature. And whenever you look at the sky, you will find the color combinations encouraging. Then what happens? They have a little healing effect, a rectifying effect upon the mind, and a purifying effect. Whenever you are looking at the sky and enjoying the combinations of the sky colors, automatically the healing effect will be done upon you, and then you will become a healing agent. just looking at the sky and enjoying the colors. What Master wanted to inspire on our minds, don't think colors are just like that. Colors have a very strong effect upon you. Looking at the sky, and they have a healing effect, even just looking at that. A rectifying effect upon the mind and a purifying effect. It can heal, and at the same time it will also purify. This is a simple method he explained. Now what is color? Okay, purifying means if there is any problem in the health or any problems in the mind or any thoughts, we need to purify. Suppose the water is very dirty, what do? We boil it. When we boil it, all the mud come down and we get the pure water. That is purifying. Suppose in the rainy season water comes down to the earth and it mixes with all the mud. In the summer what happens? The sun takes all the water up and keep the mud down. This is what we call the purifying. So when the hand is so healing hand, it will give the healing and also the purifying, not to others, to us also. When somebody is a healer, means it is not to heal others. He has to heal himself. He has to purify himself. Understand? That is what is called purifying. Now what is color? This is a very advanced topic he was dealing with. I will put it in a simple way. Now what is color? Is color a response of the observer? And what is the color he is asking? The question is color a response of the observer? Observer means we. Response to observer means, suppose this is the grey color, for example. There is a grey one, there is a grey color. Light grey color. It is a response to observer means, is it looking like grey or actually it is grey? That is the meaning of it. Is it looking like a grey color or actually it is a grey color? That's what I explained to you. And the sunset time in the mountains, snow mountains, actually snow is white. The sunset color is orange colors. When it reflects upon the snow, it looks like golden yellow color. Right? So this is the next step to that idea. Look, this is looking like grey color. Is it a grey color to the observer or actually it is a grey color? Who thinks about it? Unless you think about that, we cannot go deep into it. That's what he is asking. Is color a response to the observer? Is there something in the background? When you are telling that it is grey, is it looking like a grey or is there something else in the background? That's how we have to go deep into the subject. Is there something in the background? Color is only the response of the eye to something which is favorable or unfavorable. If it is favorable, the response is favorable and we say that the color is good. And if the response is unfavorable, we say that the color is not good.
What is favorable?
Responsible. Favorable. Favorable. I will explain. I will explain. No, don't worry, I will explain. Don't worry about the understand. I will explain. Shall I explain?
Yes.
Oh, then it's okay. I am just reading the paragraphs. Don't worry about the paragraphs. I will explain afterwards. Right. So, there are two questions are here. This is the grey color. Is it the grey color to the observer or itself is a grey color? That is the questions what he asked. Number two. If you are telling that it is a grey color, it is just a grey color or anything behind it? Anything at the background? He asked another question. What he said, why use the word observer? I say, hey, grey color is so beautiful. You say, no, not beautiful. You understand? Some people they like this grey color. Some people they don't like the grey color. So I say, so it is so beautiful, so soothing, so good. You say, no, it is not so good. That is what we call the observer. By itself it is not good, by itself it is not bad. Favoring means, since I like that color, I feel that it is very soothing and very beautiful. Since you don't like that color, it is not favorable to you. No, we don't want all these colors here. I want some color, some other color. I say, no, it is good color. That is what we call the observer. Nothing to do with the color there, it's something to do with the observer. If you like it, it is favorable to you. You feel that it is favorable to you. If I don't like it, I feel that it is not favorable to me. Understand that? Okay. So, what we call color is only color effect. Similarly, the same is the case with sound. What we speak as sound and what we hear as sounds, they are not at all sounds in their original sense. They are the disturbances in sound principle which exist in space. It is a very, very, very difficult concept to understand. I will try to explain to you in a simple way. Actually, I wanted to avoid this paragraph. It is a highly scientific thing. Frankly speaking, not possible to the present scientists also to understand the background of it. So actually I wanted to skip it, but since I read these things, I will try to explain to you a simple way. What we call color is only color effect. What we call color is only a color effect. That is color effect to you and to me. That is one thing. Second thing, similarly the same is the case with sound. What you listen to the sound is not the sound, it is the sound effect. It is not the real sound, it is a sound effect. What we speak as sound and what we hear as sound, they are not at all sounds in their original sense. Whatever you are listening to the drums or whatever it may be, you are listening to the sound effects, they are not the original sounds. And they are the disturbances in sound principle which exist in space. The original sound is there. When it is disturbed, then it comes as the sound effects. It is a very big statement. Later I will explain how it will be. Scriptures say the space is the lake of sound principles, and when there are waves on the lake can be observed. When there are no waves at all in the lake, then what we find is only a reflection of the outer world and not at all the lake. I will give you a simple example. What Master says, the entire space is like a lake of sounds. So take this lake for example. Take this lake. So when there are no waves in the lake and the water is so still, what you will find? Reflection of the mountains, reflection of the trees, reflection of our face, and everything you can see there except lake. You understand? When the lake is so still, you find only reflections, not the lake. When the waves are there, you cannot see anything else in it except the lake. So unless there is a disturbance there, they cannot produce the sound effects. It is like a lake of sound. That's why in one of the invocations of the Master, the evening invocation, anybody can tell the evening invocation, Master invocation? There is one sentence. Let we speak the silence. Let we speak the silence without breaking it. Let we speak the silence without breaking it. That is what he is explaining. Let us speak the silence without breaking it. How is it possible? Can you speak in the silence without breaking it? So if everything is so silent here, we can break the silence and speak. What he is telling in the invocation, let us speak the silence without breaking it. If you try to understand the invocations morning and evening, it is a lifetime matter. We can understand that. We have to understand with this heart, not even with the mind. Let we break the silence without breaking it. Let we speak silence. What is telling? What is telling here? When there are no waves at all in the lake, then what we find is only a reflection of the outer world and not at all the lake. Same is the case with sound. What we call silence is the lake of sound in space. What we call the silence is the lake of sound in space, and when it is disturbed, we find the vibrations of sound, and our ear responds to the vibrations of sound, and we call it to the sound. When the lake is disturbed, when there are waves like this, then we can see the lake. Like that, when the silence is broken there, the sound is broken, then all the waves come out. That is what you are able to listen. It is only a sound effect, not the sound. In the Indian scripture, there is one Sanskrit word. It is called anahata sound. Anahata sound is here at the heart level. Anahata sound means you cannot listen to it with your ears. That sound you cannot listen with your ears. You can listen by yourself, not with your external ears. This anahata sound. He is explaining about that. And when it is disturbed, we will find the vibrations of sound, and our ear responds to the vibrations of sound, and then we call it sound. So, what we call sound is only a vibration of sound, which is not at all the original sound, just as the wave in the lake is not at all the lake. So, lake is different from the wave of the lake. From the lake, so many waves come out. All the waves are from the lake only, but no wave is by itself a lake. Understand? So, when you go to the sea, for example, sea is so deep. When you come to the shore, you find lot of waves. All the waves are coming only from the sea. But no single wave is a sea. It is part of the sea but not the sea. But if you go deep into the sea, can you see the waves in the sea? No. Only at the surface level only, shore level only, you will listen to the sound of the waves. Full moon and new moon. If you go deep into the sea, no sound. Sea is so deep. No waves. So what Masi is telling, sound effect, you are listening to the sound waves, sound effects, and you call it as a sound, but sound is something different. He is taking us into the background. The background. Now he explained. He explained in a beautiful way. So, to make us know of this fact, it is a science, that's all. And it is very difficult to understand. There is some example about it. He is explaining. So, to make us know of this fact, the scriptures describe that the original sound exists as a lake of silence in space, and it is called Om. I will read again. So to make us know of this fact. What is the fact? The sound is like a silent lake in the space. The waves in the lakes, like the waves in the lake, a disturbance in the sound come to us as a sound effects. But this is not the real sound. Real sound is in the space. It is a total silence. Understand? When it is broken, as if the waves are coming from the lake, the sound waves are coming from the sound, then your ear listen to it as the sound vibrations. But real sound is total silence. Here he is giving the example. So to make us know of this fact, the scriptures describe that the original sound exists as a lake of silence in space, and it is called Om. The original sound is a Om, a lake of silence, it is the Om. He said. When it is disturbed by the vocal cords, it comes out as audible by the vocal cords, it comes out as audible Om. Actually, original Om is there inside. The space also in the inside, you cannot listen to it. When it is disturbed by the vocal cords, then the Om is coming outside audible, Om, like that. Then you are able to hear that. Whatever you are using, you are hearing about Om, it is disturbed Om from the original Om. Original Om is total silence. Original sound is total silence. Unless it is totally disturbed, you cannot listen with your own ears. That's what he is explaining. It comes out as audible by the vocal cords. It comes out as audible Om. Before we disturb it, it is in our mind as the mental Om. It was there with us as ourselves. This is what the scripture say. Even before we utter the Om outside, it is there with us, with the mind and with us. But when it is coming out, means it is disturbed by the vocal cords and coming out as the vocal Om. Original Om is there already inside as ourself, as the space. So, all of you are from the, whether you are Christians or not, I expected all of you read Bible. Because when you are born when I am born in India, I have to read Bhagavad Gita and Ramayana and Mahabharata. When we are born in this part of globe, we should read at least Old Testament and the New Testament. The Old Testament, you know how it begins?
In the beginning.
Yeah, tell me. Yeah, you are right. Yeah, you are right.
In the beginning there was a.
In the beginning there is a word.
What?
Next, what is the next sentence? In the beginning there is a word,
God.
and the word was with God. This is the same. This is the same. In the beginning there was a word, that is Om. The word was with God. That's what he is explaining. The Old Testament people have taken the concept from India. Because Indian scriptures are millions of years back. The Old Testament is very, after millions of years, not thousands of years. First there was a God, first there was a word, and the word was with the God. It's a beautiful expression. There was a Om, it is ourself. There is a Om in the space, we cannot hear that. When we break the Om with the vocal cords, then Om come out as utterance. Indian scripture says, creation come in 4 stages. Like the word come out, it will take 4 stages. The creation come out as the 4 stages, like the word come out as in 4 stages. The creation, between the creation and the word, there is a beautiful allegory. So, the meaning is, suppose I am speaking with you, for example. It is a vocal utterance. I am speaking in English. Is it okay? It is a final one. I am speaking in English. If I wanted to speak, something should be there behind. What is that?
A thought.
A thought. I should have an idea to speak about something else. Right? From where the thought comes, there should be something else. Just like it won't come from space. So it has come to the language, 4th one. Before coming to the language, I should have the idea of language. Whether I wanted to speak in Telugu, or I wanted to speak in English, or I wanted to speak in German, I should have an idea in which language I have to speak. That idea about it. Before this idea, I should have the subject in my mind. Unless there is subject, I cannot speak. Unless I know the language, I cannot express. That's how, without knowing that, with the 4 stages, from the thought, background of the thought, and then formation of a language, and then finally utterance of the word. It comes in the 4 stages. That's how the scripture says creation also come into existence in 4 stages. That's how this is very important to the word, how we use it. Understand? So he said, so it comes out as audible by the vocal cords, it comes out as audible Om. Before we disturb it, it is in our mind as the mental Om. It was there with as ourselves. This is what the scriptures say. So, he explained about the sound. Here there are a lot of practices. I was explaining to you how to utter Om in many ways. I explained many times. And the last time also I explained, I tried to explain one of the most important practices of Om. Because that is the beginning one and that is the final one. Practices of Om. What we do generally in the higher advanced practices of Om, we try to utter Om in a particular way. There are so many ways to utter Om. Let us practice in the afternoon. I will explain to you 2 or 3 methods of utterance Om. Then it is according to the master, we are disturbing the original Om. When we are uttering the Om, vocally means we are disturbing the original sound Om. Already it is there as ourself. Right? Already Om is there inside as silence. We are bringing the Om outside. That means we are disturbing the silence of that Om and bringing the Om outside. We are disturbing that Om outside. Then what you have to do? Then what next?
You shut up.
Of course. Of course. Then what? You are right. But what next? Again you have to travel back into the silence. Again you have to travel back to the silence. Because you got the Om from that by disturbing the silence and you were chanting the Om. Again, what is your duty?
Go back to the silence.
Go it back into the silence. Then, how is it possible? Listening to the Om in silence. You understand? That's why there was a very great master, Ramana Maharshi, and here ChSN is not here. The 2 ladies are not here. ChSN is not here and Koni is not here. ChSN and Koni both, they came to India once. And they both came. I took both of them to Ramana Maharshi Ashram. It is near Madras. It's one of the great, highly spiritual souls on the earth so far. And his samadhi, what we call samadhi, tomb. Yes. His tomb was there. It's so highly a spiritual place. Ramana Maharshi means it's a highly spiritual one. And I wanted to take both of them to that place. And I don't know, that was a full moon day. On that particular full moon day in the month of November or something like that, you find 200,000 people. 200,000 people. You need not, there is a mountain, it's a very powerful mountain, and all these 200,000 people, they go around the mountain with the barefoot, and it will take if you walk if you walk like this, it will take 4 hours. If you alone walk, 200,000 people walk means how much time it will take. If they start in the evening 6 o'clock, they will come in the next morning 6 o'clock. You need not walk. if you stand like this, then they will push you. 200,000 people, the road like this, not the road like this, one way road is. And if you stand like this, they will push you and you did not walk. It will take 12 hours to go around. I don't know, I am not aware of that. I did not look at the calendar. We stepped in, no rooms. No food in the hotels, 200,000 people, you can't imagine that. Oh, in that time, Koni developed some diarrhea. Oh, no hospitals and all the roads are blocked. So a lot of things happened. So suppose he survived and she survived and I survived. We did not go anywhere except spending in the hotel and the hospital. He's a great... then I thought we are so much blessed. So much blessed. Because people, it is a dream to go to that place on that particular day. We went there without knowing that. And this man, Thomas, and Daniel also came to India once. We went to South India tour and we ended up in some temple where you find millions of people that day, the big queue. It is a dream of every Indian to go to the temple on that particular day. They feel if anybody see the temple, the God, on that particular day, they will attain the moksha. We don't know that. When we were there, lot of people were there, big queue was there. And then we find we are so much blessed. Sonia has also come, yes. Sonia has also come. And she is looking at me. And I was so thrilled. This day we were in Srirangam. It is a dream of millions of Indians to go to that particular spot. So what happened, I am speaking about Ramana Maharshi. One disciple went to him, Master, can you give me the initiation? And then Mani said, shut up. He used a word, not shut up, Orakundappa. Orakunda, in a Tamil word, Orakundappa means keep quiet. 1 year over, next year again the disciple went to the master. Master, can you tell me something and give me the initiation? Keep quiet. He is a very sincere and sincere devotee of the master. So nice, pious man, disciple. 3rd year he went again. And the master, at least this year also, can you give me an initiation? The master said, keep quiet. Orkundappa. Orkundappa means keep quiet. 4th year that man came, looked at the master's eyes. He was sitting there. He was sitting here. No questions. No questions. What next?
No answer.
No answers. And the other fellow asked, why are you not asking any questions to the master? He said, keep quiet. This is what we call the yoga. He kept quiet, that's it. All the 5 senses, the minds, the thoughts, the desires, the ideals, the ambitions, all this rubbish disappeared. That is what is called keep quiet. He is a real master. He did not tell any meditation. He did not give any mantra. He did not explain about any stuff, any Bhagavad Gita, any Bible or any Ramayana, any Bharata, nothing. Whenever you ask, keep quiet. This is the real initiation. This is the real initiation. The presence itself is initiation. The presence of a great master itself is an initiation. The looks of the great master itself is an initiation. The thought of a master itself is an initiation if you are prepared to receive that. That is what we call silence. That's why what we teach to our children, when you are before a great man, there are so many great people in this world. Whether you know it or not, don't discuss, just keep quiet. Listen to them. The intelligence won't work here. The presence between the two persons. When there is a magnet, when you put the iron piece there near to the magnet, what happens? Automatically iron piece becomes the magnet. There is no iron here. Only magnetism will be there. This is the real relationship between the disciple and the master. This should be the real relationship between the disciple and the master. The silence speaks. Let me speak the silence without breaking it. That is the invocation by the Master Iki. Okay? So, this is what the scriptures say. So, let us stop here, 12:45. And afternoon, let us practice the, I told you I changed this thing. And whatever you want to eat, eat. Whatever you want to sleep, sleep. But come here by 2:55. And 3 o'clock, let us start with the practice. And how to chant the Om, number 1. How to listen to the Om without uttering it. You know, you don't know the seriousness, I am telling you. To explain this technique, we have to take the training for 2 years. You have to spend almost to 100 to 2,000 francs as a fees to know about this technique. If I collect you 1,000, you listen to it very carefully.
But we don't know where to take that money from.
Yeah, I have to give you Lakshmi mantra and then you chant it and give it. So,
But you should say that's not my business.
Yes. And then you come with a fresh mind and don't eat too much. When you are paying the money, whatever you do the justice to the money, but don't make it too belly to this thing. Evening, let us practice so many things. Evening, because I know everybody here. Even if you don't, even you tell about yourself or not, for me it is not so important. I know everybody here. I know everybody what you want. In the spiritual side, from the health point of view, I don't want to discuss about other things. I know about everybody. It is sure. So whatever the practices I am giving here, I keep everybody in my mind. I will give some practices in pranayama. I will some practices with Om. Mantra no, because I told one mantra last year and it proved wrong. 2 mantras and it proved, Master said, you are a little bit too hasty and he has given me the warning. In general, you cannot imagine that money generally goes to India every year or 1 or 2 years, one time 2 years. What the mantra I told you last year, nobody will tell you. Even if you pay 5,000 francs, they will not tell you. I am telling you. But you could not use it. I can't help. Even you pay 10,000 francs, they will just put it like this, small thing. Oh, just go. I have given you like the weapons in your hand for your entire life. You will not use it, what I will do? Maybe they are not useful to you. I can understand like that. Maybe I have given it to you without understand properly. Actually, what do you want? The master he thought they are not useful to them. Unnecessarily, this fellow he is talking all the nonsense and he is telling all the mantras to them, and it is not useful to them. Maybe master was thinking like that, and he has entered your mind. And telling you, hey, leave it. Don't do that. I have to understand like that way. So this year I don't want to deal with the mantras, because 2 mantras, the most powerful mantras. Why my school is coming as a first in the school? There are 100 schools in Machilipatnam, where you find 2,500 students like that. In my school only 1,200 students. Very, very big schools. Since last many years, our students comes first, even in the last week results also. Every year our students come first. You know why? Because of Ganpati mantra. They chant every day. People ask me, what you will do, what you will teach all the time, you are going around here and there. We never see you in the school. No principal behaves like this. And all the teachers are like this. You leave the teachers like that. You will not control them. And you will not going after them. You don't care about the school. Even then, how your students are getting first in the town? I said, I also don't know. But the fact is, they chant the Ganpati mantra. This is not this. This is the seed mantra. But my students chant the entire this thing. But it will take 10 minutes. All the almost elder students, maybe 400, 500 students, they chant it like that continuously for 10 minutes every day. Even before going to the examinations, they chant first and then they go to the examinations. That is the beauty of the Ganpati mantra. I have given the heart of Ganpati to you, not the body of Ganpati. I have given you the heart of Ganpati. Right? So this time, I decided not to speak about mantras this time. Maybe I told you last time, I don't know. Many times. I told you last time. Okay, whatever it may be, afternoon, my advice is don't fill your stomachs, order for small food. Don't be hungry. We are practicing pranayamas, you remember that. Mantras is not so important to keep tummy, but pranayamas it is a must. Today I will explain 3 pranayamas, and tomorrow we start with the pranayama and we start with the meditation, not with the teaching. Whatever I explained today, tomorrow morning we start with the pranayama, we start with the Om, we start with the meditation, and then we go to the teaching. It's like that. Afternoon we start with the pranayama, then we do the meditation, and we do the Om, and then we go to the teaching. I will stop teaching in an elaborate way. Cut. It's only statements. Then these 3 days.